Makeup, they say, makes women beautiful, but some women use makeup to practice evil. Let's find out how in this story. Chioma was the most beautiful woman in the town of Umoji. Her beauty was the kind that made people stop and stare. Her skin was smooth like fresh palm oil. Her eyes were bright like stars. Her lips were red and full. Her body was curvy and well-shaped. She walked like a queen, and everywhere she went, people noticed her. But what made Chioma even more powerful was her makeup. She always wore makeup that looked perfect. Her eyebrows were sharp, her eyes had shiny colors, and her lips always looked sweet. Every man that saw her fell in love with her. They could not control themselves. But nobody knew the truth about Chioma's makeup. It was not just for beauty. It was evil. A long time ago, Chioma had gone into the forest to look for help. She was poor, hungry, and nobody cared about her. She met an old woman who told her, "If you want power, I will give it to you, but you must use it only for yourself." Chioma agreed without thinking. The old woman gave her a small black pot. Inside the pot was makeup. The old woman said, "Rub this on your face every day. Any man who sees you will become yours. He will leave his wife, forget his family, and give you everything he has. But be careful if you meet someone stronger than your charm. The power will turn against you." Chioma did not listen to the warning. She only thought about how she would become rich and powerful. From that day, her life changed. She returned to town looking different. Her face was glowing. Her lips looked like ripe fruit. Her eyes sparkled like gold. The first man she saw was a married trader named Mr. Okeke. He had a big shop and a happy family. Chioma walked past him slowly. She smiled. Mr. Okeke followed her immediately like a lost puppy. By evening, he had given her money and a new phone. 2 days later, he told his wife to leave the house. He moved in with Chioma and called her "my queen." The wife cried and begged, but it was no use. Her husband was under a spell. Chioma continued to use her evil makeup every day. More and more men fell for her. Some left their wives and children. Some sold their land just to please her. Some even fought themselves in public just to get her attention. The women in town became afraid. "She is taking all our husbands," they cried. The young girls were angry. "Our boyfriends are leaving us for her," they complained. But Chioma didn't care. She laughed and said, "I am the most beautiful. If they leave you, it's because you are not enough." Every evening, Chioma sat in her big room, rubbing more makeup on her face and looking into her magic mirror. The mirror showed her which man to take next. It whispered to her, "This one has money. That one owns a car. This one is building a house." Chioma only chose rich men. She didn't care if they were married. She didn't care if they had children. As long as they had something she wanted, she would take them. Soon, people started whispering. "This is not normal," the elders said. "No woman can be this powerful without using something dark." But nobody could stop her. She became the most feared woman in Umuoji. Even pastors were afraid to talk about her. And the women? They just cried and prayed. Chioma was now in full control of the town. Her beauty was not a blessing, it was a weapon, a very evil one. And she was just getting started. The town of Umuoji was no longer peaceful. Every week, another woman would cry because her husband had left her for Chioma. Every day, young girls were heartbroken because their boyfriends had changed suddenly. The town was full of sadness. People started calling Chioma the Destroyer, but no one could stop her. Chioma now had a big house, built for her by one of her rich lovers. She didn't work, she didn't cook, she didn't clean. Everything she wanted was done for her by men who were under her evil charm. She had 5 men living in her house at the same time. One was a rich businessman who had left his pregnant wife. One was a teacher who used his salary to buy her clothes. One was a trader who closed his shop to be with her. One was a bank manager who gave her customers money. And the last one was a young man who had just inherited land from his father. He sold everything for her. Each of these men believed he was her only man. She played with their minds. She told each one, "You are the only one I love." And they believed her. Sometimes they fought each other, but she calmed them with a kiss or a smile, and they forgot everything. Meanwhile, their real families were suffering. Wives were thrown out of their homes with their children. They had nowhere to go. Some stayed with relatives, some slept in churches, and some begged on the street. The children cried for their fathers, but the fathers were now like zombies, following Chioma everywhere. The young girls in town became afraid of falling in love. "What is the use?" they said. "Chioma will still take him from me." Many of them started fasting and praying, hoping God would protect their future husbands. Some girls became bitter. They started fighting their boyfriends, thinking they were unfaithful. But the truth was, Chioma's charm was too strong. Even the most faithful man could not resist her once he saw her face. The elders of the town called a meeting. They sat under the big iroko tree and discussed the problem. "This is getting out of hand," said Chief Ugona. "Yes," replied Elder Nadosi. "Our sons are becoming useless. Our women are suffering." "What shall we do?" asked Mama Ogechi, a respected old woman. "We cannot continue like this." They decided to send a group of women to confront Chioma. They would go to her house and beg her to leave their husbands alone. The next day, 10 strong women gathered. They tied white cloth on their heads, carried Bibles, and sang war songs. "Enough is enough!" they shouted. "Chioma must stop!" But when they reached her gate, something strange happened. The moment they raised their voices to call her name, they all fell to the ground. Some fainted, some screamed, and some ran back home, shaking with fear. Want to know what happens next in the story? Stay tuned.